DayZ Experimental 1.29 is testing some new economy changes, and they're pretty drastic from what we're used to. With update 1.29, some economy changes have come to the experimental servers. Don't worry, these changes are only happening on the experimental servers. Since we have these servers and they are test servers, we're actually taking the time now to test some stuff. That's why the loot is a bit weird if you've noticed it, if you've played 1.29 so far. What we're doing with this is gathering feedback on it and seeing if people like it, if they don't like it, and kind of maybe tweak it a little bit and see for future updates. All your feedback is really needed on this, so if you have any, be sure to leave it on the feedback tracker. It's linked in the description down below. The aim of this economy change is to reduce the amount of weapons that kind of spawn along with other items as well. So full auto weapons are going to become more difficult to find. All chest protection, so that is plate carriers, press vests and stab vests, have a lower spawn rate and they will spawn a lot less, and either usually on the ground or on infected, like heavy infected, like the military ones for example. The reason for these changes is to see if this will slow down how players, play the game and loot. So instead of just, finding all your regular loot spots, running and getting up to, the Northwest Airfield in an hour from, say, the coast, now you have to take a lot more time and do more searching than you usually would. The hope with this as well is that if people have less guns, there'll be less KOSing around the map. Stop it being a constant PvP fight and actually make it so players have to survive more than PvP. Your usual loot route, whatever that loot route might be on Chernarus, will more than likely feel different. I've noticed it as well, especially that I'm having to loot different areas of the map that I haven't really looted before to try and find certain weapons. For example, farmlands have been updated, so now they spawn shotguns and hunting rifles and stuff like this. So I find myself actually going to more farms around the map than, say, police stations or military locations. One of the things that I noticed while playing today is that if you go to like a police convoy, for example, or even a military convoy, that the infected will have less chest protection on them. Usually if you go to a police convoy specifically, the infected would have a lot of stab vests on them. Now I've gone to quite a few of them and no infected have had any stab vests whatsoever. It was striking to say the least. The coastlines of Chernarus have also been updated. There'll be less kind of shotguns and rifles and stuff like that along the coastlines, and this is where pistols will spawn a lot more. So pistols will be your friend along the coastline, like what you see in this clip here. Ammo, magazines and attachments have been lowered as well, so even if you do find like an AK or an M4 or something like that, it is probably likely to have less attachments on it than before. I have found a number of AKs today and all of them have had no stocks and no magazines. Now it has been fairly easy to find magazines. Usually you find them somewhere within the military location that you found the AK, but haven't really found as many stocks at all, so you are running an AK with no stock, which can affect recoil. Again, these changes are definitely interesting to say the least. In my opinion, it kind of makes the game feel a little bit more hardcore, I guess you could kind of say. I kind of like it. I know some people don't like it, and that's totally fine. For someone like me who's been playing the game for quite a long time, I actually like the change, because after, playing Chernarus for many years, the same loot routes and everything can get quite boring. So to actually have this temporary change on experimental servers where you have to loot different areas and stuff really does spice up Chernarus a bit, and you kind of have to adventure more areas that you usually wouldn't. And I am kind of liking it for that reason. We did get into some PvP earlier on today when I was doing a dev stream. It was interesting because everybody in that PvP fight had less gear. So like nobody had a plate carrier, everybody had lower tier guns, and it made for some interesting PvP interactions. Everybody was kind of fighting to survive and also fighting to try and see if the other player had better loot. It really did make it a bit interesting. But also when you see an enemy player, you kind of fear it more. You're like, oh, there's an enemy player there. You have to like be locked in. Sometimes if you saw an enemy player before and you were like had a plate carrier and a good gun, you wouldn't be as worried because you might have the advantage. But now everybody's kind of on the same level playing field, and it makes it very interesting and a little bit more intense in my opinion. So yeah, that's what's happening with the loot economy on 1.29 experimental. Again, these changes are not coming to stable. This is just testing on experimental to see if people like it and whether it's something we might change in future updates. And again, all your feedback is needed on this, good or bad. We want to hear it all so we can tweak it and adjust it to make it as best as possible. Since I've been playing the last, I don't know, 2.5, nearly 3 hours, here is what my character looked like after the end of that run. I had a pretty decent gear, but I still had no chest protection whatsoever. I had a good, decent AK with a baby AK, blaze, plenty of ammo, stuff like that, but still no chest protection. Makes you feel a bit naked when you get up towards like Zelenogorsk, VMC, and especially up towards the airfield, and you don't have any chest protection. You feel really on high alert, and yeah, it's an odd feeling to say the least. A bit challenging at the same time, and I don't mind the challenge, so it's kind of nice. But yeah, let me know your thoughts if you've played 1.29 experimental so far. These changes are on Xbox and PC, so let me know what your thoughts are. Do you like them? Do you not like them? Give me reasons why. I'd love to hear them. But that is it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed, and until next time, I shall catch you guys then. So peace out for now.